Hey, hope you're doing well. My name is Magician, and today I want to talk about a little trick in Tekken that I like to call step walk. As always, in order not to leave anyone behind, I'm going to cover sidestep, sidewalk, and then step walk. So if you are knowledgeable about the game, just skip straight to the timestamp that says step walk. But if you're still here, then let's talk about sidesteps. Sidesteps are a movement option in Tekken that we use to go to the sides instead of the front or the back. Now, we primarily use sidesteps as a way to evade moves that are quicker but have weak tracking. Examples may include down forward ones to their weak sides, or jab strings, for example, alongside a plethora of other unique moves that are quicker in nature but have weak tracking, either to one side or both sides. With that out of the way, let's talk about sidewalks. Sidewalks we generally use to make moves with that are, let's say, slower but have much better tracking. Examples may include slash kicks. We sidewalk those to get to the opponent's back and get a back-turned combo instead of a off-axis combo if you used a sidestep. But other moves you have to sidewalk. Examples may include Kazuya's down back 4 stature kick. You have to sidewalk that to the left, to Kazuya's right, his weak side. Other examples are Lilith's forward 4, the low. That is a move that you cannot sidestep and you have to sidewalk again. A third example of a move you have to sidewalk would be Jack's very bulky full crouch down forward 3+4 hold. You can technically sidestep this if your timing is impeccable, but it is so much easier to just sidewalk it either way that you are almost forced to in any situation where you see it coming, for example. That is an example of a move you have to sidewalk. Now, there are sadly, however, situations in Tekken that, because of the frames and the tracking of the moves involved, you have to block. You cannot sidestep and you cannot sidewalk those sequences. Hopefully you can see some that I'm showing right now in the video, but those you cannot evade sideways and you have to block them. However, there are a few exceptions. You are not forced, you are not doomed to keep blocking in every single one of those situations. And how you move to the side to evade those sequences is with a step walk. Now, what is a step walk? A step walk it starts off with a side step, and during the much later frames of the side step, you start inputting your side walk. You can hopefully see like a demonstration of that right now. And what it helps us do, it helps us evade sideways moves that we previously thought were unsteppable. So if you would please look at the examples. Our first example here is Kazuya crouch dash 1+2 into down forward 1, which is really good because it is a frame trap and most characters in this game cannot step this sequence. Xiaoyu should normally be one of those characters. As you can see, I'm trying to sidestep, it doesn't work. I'm trying to sidewalk, it doesn't work. But with a well-timed step walk, you can actually step walk this to the left, to Kazuya's weak side. Xiaoyu is not the only one who can make use of step walk in this situation. Every character around her tier of sidesteps, as in Xiaoyu, Jun, Asuka if I'm not mistaken, and even Reina somewhat, maybe they can all make use of step walk in this situation. It's around that tier of stepping distance and speed. Our second example here, and this is a very popular flowchart, is Leo Bach 3+4 into while standing 3-1. As you can also see in this situation, you cannot step this either way, and you cannot sidewalk this either way. The solution that I found to this situation, and I've done this multiple times in a real match setting, is to step walk to the left, as you can see again, by starting off with a side step and then committing to the sidewalk, you can make the while standing 3-1 whiff. So you can get to Leo's back and hopefully get your back turned launcher. Now a third example, and this one is important because it is evidence that step walking is character specific, is Xiao Yu's down back 2 into back turned 1. As you can see with King, to my knowledge at least, King is the only character who can step walk this among the characters who have weaker side steps, as in King, Jin, Kazuya, Brian, somewhat, and Paul. These characters with a weaker sidestep cannot even step walk this. They can step, they can't walk, and they cannot even step walk. But King, however, even though he has a larger hitbox than the other characters that I just talked about, he can step walk this for some reason and get a full launch, as you can see hopefully in the example. And the last example that I want to talk about is how rank crouch dash 3 into down 3-4. Now, as I said before, characters with a weaker sidestep that I just talked about, they cannot sidewalk this and they cannot sidestep this. They are forced to step walk to the side. Note that characters with a better sidestep, with better sideways movement in general, are able to sidewalk this, if I'm not mistaken. But these characters that I'm talking about that have a relatively worse sidestep are forced to step walk this in order to make it whiff. Yeah. Now, another question you might have actually is about the doability of this step walk during a real match setting, and I am here to tell you that I have step walked in multiple instances, namely the Leo situation, the block 3+4 into while standing 3-1, and the Xiao Yu down back 2 into back turned 1. On multiple occasions I have actually stepped walked in those situations and gotten my launch. Another question that you might have is what causes this? Why is step walk even a thing in the game? And I suspect, and this is a theory, that this has been a thing ever since the Season 2 buff to sideways movement, when they let us buffer a whole side walk from a block stun, either to the background or to the foreground. When they basically did that, when they let us buffer a whole side walk from block stun, what ends up happening is that the sidewalk animation ends up eating away from the last frames of the side step. As we all know, the side steps have quicker sideways movements, but the sidewalks cover more ground. So what ends up happening is that the buffered sidewalk from block stun ends up having less evasion during the first frames than a normal side step, even though step walking covers options that neither step or sidewalk covers. So yeah, that's a theory overall. I hope they patch this by making it so that even if you buffer a sidewalk from block stun, you actually make full use rather of the side step animations before you get to the sidewalk. But whatever, this is just technical yapping. And yeah, I hope you learned something new. Don't be afraid to lab situations that you think are very sticky and you are forced to block, because you never know, you might be able to step walk those. Yeah, this has been Magician talking about step walking. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and yeah, that's about it. Goodbye.